That's Tim Michelle Birdsong, Mother. Eve, Mother of all living, and the Mother Nature, and what's her name? Mary Magdalene. I was listening to Bob Dylan on the radio. I was thrilled and shocked that he was on the radio, but it was a wonderful program. He's such a deep voice. I love his voice, talking voice. Of course, I love his various singing voices. And he said, a womb can only carry one baby. And I said, that's a funny thing to say. I had a radio show on Blog Talk Radio. It was called Michelle Birdsong, a coping coach. That archived some of the shows. It was political. Anyway, it said that one baby, and he's given me 3 babies. This is because he owns my womb. He's the Lord of my soul. He's the Lord of the angels. And so naturally, when your boss comes around, you get a little nervous, and the radio show, I felt so close to him because everything he was talking about, I agreed with. I have been dealing with and accepting. He quoted Hamlet. I was Shakespeare. He talked about the stages of truth. I used to talk about that. And so, in True Confessions magazine, I used to read that when I was 13 years old. I just could relate to everything he said. Let me show you Hamlet. Decode it. H for heaven. M. L for loving. Eve. What's that? Tickling. Okay, so heaven, M, loving. Eve's seek, pleasuring. Venus. See, because Bob Dylan was a Sikh guru. He was the second Sikh guru. I was the first, Guru Nanak. And of course, the present guru is a Sikh guru. My son Singh Birdsong is a Sikh guru. That's the first time I heard that Bob Dylan had seeded me and had put a baby in my uterus. Was Jimi Hendrix, Sing Birdsong. And this is a surprise, but I was delighted because it turned out, it took me a long time to realize it. And Gurinder Singh helped me realize it. Charan Singh, his master, and my master, Jesus Christ, they guided me very slowly to realize the man I committed my life to was a bum, because I thought he was Adam and I was Eve, and so we were meant to be, but it didn't work out like that. So I nearly killed us when I found out that, hell has no scorn, like no fury like that of a woman scorned. So when I helped him to make it, and then he want to bring a black Muslim groupie into our marriage, it blew my mind, and plus he was never coming home. He was with Stevie Wonder all the time, and so so we were in a car and the children in the back seat, and I went crazy. I said, if you destroyed the family, so what are we doing? We just may as well die. And I tried to turn the wheel on the car. So I guess Gurinder Singh grabbed my arms. He can do that in his spirit, because when I was put in this room, thrown on the bed, he tied my feet together and said, you figured this mess out. That was his spirit. These spirits are powerful. I used to be afraid of spirits, but I'm not anymore, because they embraced me. They like me. They told me they want me to be the queen of the creation. So that's another story. So anyway, let me tell you the story of the first baby Bob Dylan put in his uterus. They refer to my uterus as his uterus. That's okay. My right hand is his right hand. So when I write, You see, all this I write, 20 pages, 30 pages at a time, that's him. I thought it was God. I knew it wasn't me because I wasn't censoring. I was just letting it happen. And now I find out it's him. I also found out that I have his eyes. So he wants me to tell him what I see. And he has my thumb. So when he plays the guitar, it's my thumb he's playing with. So I know that sounds weird. It's a lot to accept. When I first started this path of submission, they said, everything you know is wrong. And they've been overturning everything I've ever believed. It happens all the time. I raised my daughter to be, cultivated her is a better word. First of all, I chose a dark man for her father, so she would be dark, because I didn't want her to go through what I went through being light-skinned, and my mother went through being light-skinned. My mother threw rocks at the kids, taunting her, calling her baby shit color, the black kids in Clarksville, Tennessee. She threw rocks at them. And then you got rock music and rock stars. It came from that. So that's how our family affects the culture. You see, all this was very difficult to accept because I was taught that I was nothing, not good enough for the white people. They said, didn't want to sit beside me on the bus, and not good enough to play ball. Black people didn't want to play ball with me. So I cut off all my hair, and I just hung around like a sick puppy. And then one day, Mary Helen said, oh, let her play. So then I got to play with them, but I never felt liked. I told my sister I had no friends growing up. She doesn't believe me. It's true. Okay, what else? He talked about, okay, I already mentioned that. Oh, so he says, how do I feel? I saw Richie Havens. See, I like everything Bob Dylan is. I like folk singers. I like, down I plays electric guitar. I went to the Church of God in Christ. I had an electric guitar player when I was a kid, and then everybody started playing electric guitars. I like the way he sings. He sings how he feels at the moment. And these other people who sing to me, like Lionel Richie sang Lady, because Lionel Richie was President James Madison, and I was Dolly Madison, the First Lady. So these people were singing to me all along, but it made me crazy, because nobody can sing to you from TV. You must be crazy if you think that. And the doctors agree. So, but one day when Lionel Richie was singing Lady, I got tired of being afraid and running from the TV. So I sat down. I said, if he's singing to me, I'm going to sit down and listen. And sure enough, I felt him, and he was singing to me. And then Michael Bublé used to sing to me. Guru Singh told me 4 years ago Michael Bublé was my soulmate. So I got to thinking that, and then that didn't happen. He was at Madison Square Garden, and I tried to get some money. I had the money, had $168, and I tried to get Jessica to use her credit card and buy me a ticket so I could go to Madison Square Garden. And so that didn't happen. She didn't want to do it. And he was letting people from the audience sing. And then one woman could really sing and said, oh, you sing too good. And I said, I don't sing good. He's trying to find me in the audience. See, I should have gone there. But it wasn't meant to be, because Adam and Lilith, his first wife, started a war with the animals. They're eating them. They eat the animals, raw animals. That was the first sin in the Garden of Eden. So they're together. They have Bing Crosby's children, suicidal children, reborn to them. And she was Pontius Pilate, who killed Christ. And Bob Dylan liked Jesus Christ. So when I was listening to Bob Dylan play every grain of sand. I was lying in this bed. He said, lady in my big brass bed. I need to lay in your big brass bed because I can hardly have room in my bed. They keep telling me, no, you're not going to have any room to lay down. You keep putting stuff in your bed. So, what's I talking about? Jesus Christ. Right, so he was playing. So Bob Dylan can go to my frequency of arousal. He can do it. All the music I've ever heard, I was not a Bob Dylan fan because I was a colored girl, and we didn't hear no Bob Dylan. We heard Grand Ole Opry, and we heard blues, and R&B, and church music, gospel. So, and then when I heard Bob Dylan, he